Hello all, am I audible? And is the screen visible? Yeah, awesome. So I'm Vedant Bhernar. I'm co-founder of DevScript, and here we are going to learn strings in Python. So if you have any doubts throughout the session, you just post it in the YouTube chat. I'm there, and I'll be solving all of them. So, and if I miss any of them, just let me know at the end too. There will be a Q&A session at the end. Yeah. So let's start with strings. So basically, a string is a sequence of Unicode characters. In simple words, an array of characters. Now, a character is nothing but a Unicode symbol, which can be, say, an alphabet, say A to Z, small, capital, then numbers 0 to 9, then special characters and whatnot. So let's see how we are going to learn. So today's session is divided into several parts, namely Nirman, Parivartan, Pahuch, Karma, and Vinash. And there's some nice surprise at the end for you all. So let's start with Nirman, the creation of strings. So guys, is the font size perfect? Is the screen properly visible? Or shall I zoom it a bit? Okay, I'll just zoom it more. Now is it fine, Prakash? Okay, this is too much. Yeah, I guess this is max of what is possible. Yeah. Thanks, Apu. Okay. I hope it is now. Wait. Mhm. I'll increase the overall font size. Just a minute. Ah, perfect. Yeah, perfect. Cool. So yeah, let's start with Nirman creation. So basically, as I told you, that string is a sequence of Unicode characters. It is an array of characters basically. So we define a string by just variable name, which can be anything. I have used my underscore string equals hello. Hello in single inverted. We'll see different methods of defining a string now. So I'll just run this cell and we get output as hello. Then we can also use double inverted and we can also use triple inverted. So triple quotes, first two quotes are just simple. You can use it anywhere. Even triple quotes can be used, but triple quotes have an added advantage or edge over the other two. It is that triple quote strings can extend multiple lines. So suppose it is something like this, and suppose I have to write again something more, then I have to extend it to a further line. Then still, if we do it somewhere, say in double quotes, it will give us an error. Let's see which error it gives us. Syntax error, end of line. EOL means end of line while scan in string literal, whereas we don't get that error when we do it with triple quotes. For comment, we use hash And yeah, like if you want to comment to, you can, for multi-string comments, you can just use triple quotes to something here. And if you just use assignment operator, then it becomes a string. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Let's move on. So these are the three methods to create string: single quotes, double quotes, and triple quotes, and an added advantage of triple quotes. That is the only thing that is important in creation of string. Yes, exactly. Errors are the best way to learn. It is said that we learn from our own mistakes. This is how we proceed. So we can check out that a string has a length. We saw in list, tuples, everyone had length. So let's see what length DevScript has got. 9 characters. So again, to find out the length, you can use function len of whatever variable you want. You can also insert directly the string. So this also works and use the same length. Now the way you saw again in list and tuples, this slicing property, same we have in strings, where the first parameter before the colon is lower index and the second is upper index. One thing to be noted is that upper index is not inclusive. That means if you choose six, so considering the word DevScript, it becomes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So see, the I isn't present here. That means the number after the colon, or say the upper index, is not inclusive. Now, there's not anything that is different from list and tuples. The same slicing concept goes throughout the Python, whether you take it list, whether you take it tuple, whether you take it string. Okay. So again, for one colon sits, we get evscr. For colon sits, we get devscr, and for one colon, we get e devscript starting from e. Yeah. Again, like there was a nice question in one of the WhatsApp groups about negative indexing. So here too, you can use negative indexing, suppose -1 to -6. So here so in -6 to -1, it becomes SCRIP. It's like you have the string. So it becomes -1 to -6, or say -6 to -1. Now, whenever it comes, okay, so there's one thing that what everyone should know when it comes to competitive programming. And if you use Python, we saw that we use input to take input from this user, and always the input is string, right? So suppose if my input has space, for example, here I have written let's spy, but apart from this there are several spaces before and after the string, and I am not at all interested in having those spaces. So we have a strip function which removes any white space from the beginning or the end. So this happens normally, or say this is used normally when you solve competitive questions on CodeChef. As per, I got this experience from a ICPC competition where I was facing the issue, and the strip function saved me at that time. So this is a strip function. So we can see there is nothing here. If I just remove strip, let's see what we get. See, we are having spaces. Yeah. Moving forward, suppose I have a string equals ABCD, or say 2134, yeah. And I do S of 0 equals 1. Let's say string of 1. Yeah. we get an error that str object does not support item assignment. Similar error you got recently was in, I guess, the previous session of tuples. Can anyone suggest what this property is known as in the chat? Mhm. I again repeat, we are unable to change the strings by directly assigning to them. Yeah, immutable, exactly. So strings are immutable. We'll see this soon in detail. So how to tackle this? So here we have a replace function which replaces all occurrences of a character in a string. So the syntax is variable name, which I have here str2 dot replace what you have to replace and by what. So here I have let spy. So from let spy, I replaced y by b. So we have got let's pb. Okay. I just put let's pyy and then see both the y were replaced. So now there's an interesting thing, that is a tokenizer which literally tears your strings. So the tokenizer and tearing strings might sound a bit words. No, it's not a big deal. You just have to, divide your string into such a parts that they are separated by something, by some character or some by a small string. So by default, if I don't put anything in split function, it separates by a white space. So we can see that here we have a white space. You all can see, right? Yeah, good. So, but suppose I have to split about this comma. I'll just put a comma inside the inverted and bingo. We don't have a comma here. What we get after split function is a list having splitted strings. So again, a suggestion for the competitive questions. When you have to take input from the user, which might be in the form of say 1 space 2 space 3 space 4, you need to do is suppose lis is equal to list. Okay, we'll see map later. Input dot split. So let's see. I enter 1 space 2 space 3 space 4. Okay, so now our list is operated. I'll just print lis. See, we got separated 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you'll be needing this when you solve questions on HackerRank, etc. Now we have concatenation. So what is concatenation? As the name suggests, just adding one to the another. So here I define str3. Here welcome to DevScript. Then str1 at the very beginning. And here I have marks equal to 100. Okay. So I'll first print this. I'll just execute this line first. Any idea what might be the output? Will it be some nice statement or an error or something else? Hmm. Guys, please respond. Okay, I'll just run this. Let's see what we get. We got an awesome error. So it says that it is type error, must be str not int at line number 4. So let's say line number 4, here it is line number 4. So basically you can append a string with a string. You cannot append an integer with a string, or say with a lot many strings. So here marks, as we have defined here, is an integer. So when we append, it gives us this error. So basically this is a type error that can only contain str, not into str. Okay, so what alternative do we have here? You can use format. Okay, so format method converts the argument as a formatted string. Else you can also use, let's run it. Bingo, we have the same output. So format and str both can be used to convert integer to a string. Exactly, Amandeep, so that it doesn't raise that error. So basically, literally strings be like 2 plus 0 equal to 20 and 6 plus 6 equal to 66. Do you guys love memes, or is this a wrong question? Oh. So we saw that list can be sorted, right? Similarly, strings can also be sorted. So here we'll check out sorted function. Here I have a lot many characters inside. So the very reason behind putting such different space, exclamation, comma, and capital smalls. The reason is that we can see that we can check the sequence in which they are sorted. First white space, then some special characters, then capitals, and then small, right? And sorted function, even if they are repeated, they are present in the output. Okay. Okay. So format do, okay, just a second. Format here, format only converts the given argument, which here was marked as a formatted string. So basically we are just typecasting into string. Exactly, Avjit. So there's an awesome application that we have on sorted. So how many of you know what an anagram is? You might have heard palindromes, anagrams, and whatnot. Beautiful strings. No, then why str? It's just that you have two methods to do it. When it comes to format, you have some added features, or say which you can use for your work. I'll explain them later as soon as our difficulty level increases step by step. Anyone any idea about anagram? Okay. So basically, anagrams are those words. Say suppose I have a word ABC. So any combination or any word which can be formed by combination of these alphabets is an anagram. So for ABC, we have anagram BCA, CAB, and all. All permutations of all the alphabets in the string are anagrams. So there's a logic that suppose, okay, so first of all, let's run this. This will help you understand better. I'll put ABCD, okay, enter first string ABCD, and enter second string in a combination BABC. Okay. Exactly. Anagram is a phrase formed by rearranging the letters. So yeah, it is an anagram. Now let's run this again ABCD, but I'll introduce some another alphabet. So it's ABCE, not anagram. So very logic behind anagram checker is that you can just sort the strings. So after sorting the strings, you get ABCD, and this ABC also becomes ABCD. And if these two match, see, I have taken input first, I have taken the second input, I have sorted them both. Now both have become ABCD, and if both these strings are equal, which we are checking by this double equal to operator, then it prints anagram, else it prints it is not an anagram. If you have any doubts, just post it in the chat. Till that, I'll cover an interesting thing about this. Now, very advantage of Python is that it is very easy to write, and it lines of code gets reduced significantly. Okay, so let's see how we can convert this whole if else into a one liner. I'll do is print anagram, and if this is my condition, I'll just take it as it is. If we saw this same concept in the first project that we saw. Okay. Print condition if, now else, and then what should it do if it goes into the else part? That is print, not anagram. Let's run this. Enter first string. Let's go with something else. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 3, 1, 2. Yeah, it's anagram. Okay, so this is just a small reminder that how it can be done. Now, one very interesting advantage again of Python over other languages is reverse. So this is how you reverse a string in Java. Okay, you have to do everything manually. You have to use string builder, then you have to append the strings in reverse order, and then finally return that reverse string. But when it comes to Python, it's like you just have to traverse in reverse direction by using the colon colon minus one. So let's see this. Suppose my s equals something awesome. Okay, so let's just put something awesome, and I have to reverse this. See, we got this. Okay. Okay, there's a point which I haven't covered, but this is again something interesting that we can take. Now we saw that sorted can be used to find whether two words are anagrams of each other or not. Now using this reverse traversal, we'll check whether two words are palindrome of each other or not. Okay. So suppose if I took s equals madam. Okay, let's make it. Okay. And no, let's not go with madam. Let's go with registrar. Okay, guys, this word is a palindrome. Okay. And suppose r equals I'll check if s double equals s colon colon minus 1. Listen, print see, so registrar is a palindrome, isn't it? These are some small questions that are pretty much asked in MCQs or small tests that you will have. Suppose if Python is in your curriculum, and it's much better than what we do in Java. So we have finished this part. Now let's move to our next part. Pahuj. Here we'll check how we can access strings. Okay. Again, this is similar to list. I'll just first run this so that we can all see the what output do we get. So str equals this. So str, you can directly print it. So we see that it is directly print. Then, though we cannot change an element by index, but we can check what element is there at a particular index. So suppose if you want a first character, we know that Python is an zero index language. So str of zero is what we are printing. Then last character, again like list, from -1, -2, and so on. It becomes str of -1 for the last character, which is S. Then 1 to 5 is again slicing, and 6 to second last character again the same. Moving forward, so let's see what error do we get. String index out of range. So again, if in a list there are 3 elements, and if we are trying to access suppose 10th element, then we get list index out of range. Similarly here, suppose if we are trying to access an element which is not there, or say which exceeds the length of the string, then we get string index out of range. Okay, so I'll just do uh 2. I'll get L. Yeah, we got L, right? Okay, then one more point to be noted is that to access an element of a string, the string indices must be integers. If they are not integers, we get string indices must be integers, the type error. Okay. Then again that I mentioned that we cannot edit a string just by using the assignment operator. So my string of I equal to 12, no, it won't work. We'll have to use a replace function. Type error, str object does not support item assignment. So yes, the answer that you guys gave is correct, that it is immutable. So even if the strings are actually an array of characters, for Python, strings are immutable. So again, same advantage, while tuples are immutable, that immutability is something that is preferred when we have some data that we don't have to change under any circumstances. So suppose if there is a string which is defined, and even if by mistake in your code you don't wish to change it so that finally it doesn't lead to any problems, that's why here for us strings are immutable. So suppose if you have to somehow edit them, what you can do is you can convert a string into a list, and then assign, you can just change any character of it, and then again make it a list, or again make it a string. So okay, so let's just see. Here I have string equals abcd, then I have to convert it into a list. So how can we convert it? L equals list of s. Okay, then I'll print L so that we can see that we get a list and how the list looks. So basically we get all individual characters. Okay, and now I can change any element of a string because lists are not mutable. So I'll just do L of 0 equals 1. Okay, and then I'll print L again. So here we have got a list with first character replaced by 1. Now I want a string by from this. So I'll do print. Here we use join keyword, where we have inverted dot join, and in braces the variable we have used for the list. No. Sorted method in string will not convert a string into a list. It will just sort it and return. For this, we need to use the keyword list. So let's run this. So here we got string from this list. Okay. Now suppose if you want something between all these characters, so that's why we have got this. So if I put hash, get one hash b hash c and so on. Okay. Then we again have finished this section. Let's move to the next section of karma. So No strings attached. Okay, so how many of you are Oasis fan? If you are Oasis fan, you might be knowing no strings attached. So it's just that we'll be seeing concatenation in a bit detail, how we can do it. So these are the basic string operations. Okay, that we'll be checking. So str1 is hello and str2 is world. So using plus operator, you can concatenate two strings. Okay. Now with we can multiply any string with an integer. So suppose if I multiply hello with 3, it gets appended 3 times. Hello, hello, and hello without any spaces in between. Now let's check this out. Hmm. Sorry. Uh, Suppose if I define S as a tuple of hello and then on the next line world, then it gets automatically concatenated. Okay. Upendra Singh, can you please elaborate for what it was mean out? Okay, so you don't know. Okay. Sure, no, he's an awesome person and unfortunately it's no more. So now let's see how do we iterate through a string. So this is something like for loop that we saw. So now you guys, all of you know what a for loop is. So let's do something interesting. So here, iterating through a string in order to find how many characters are there which are equal to this particular character, or say how many L are present. So we have code for this where we have for letter for every letter in hello world. If that particular letter equals L, then we have to increase the count. Okay. So this is the very advantage again of Python, that you can directly read a Python code like a normal English language. Just print it. Mm. So yeah, 3 letters were found. One, one, two, and here third one. We'll see a shorter method of this soon. And now then, suppose you have to check whether a particular string is present in another string or not. So here we have in operator, or say in keyword, which checks whether A is present in this or not. So let's run this. So it is giving us output of this second line. Yeah, so A is present in program, as we can see. We'll go for the another one. We are checking if 80 is not present in this, right? So as we can see that 80 is already present there. So 80 in battle will return true and 80 not in battle will return false. So now let's move forward. Okay. So before I run this and check out, can anyone tell me what error do we have here? Awesome. So yeah, we have an error. It's like invalid syntax. So now why is this invalid syntax? So the thing is that we have started this string with double inverted. Though we are ending this with again a double inverted, still here this brings an error because here we already have a double inverted. So the continuity is stopped. Yeah, bots exactly. So what's a solution for this? Again, whether here it be a double inverted or single inverted, we are going to face the same issue. Mm, a solution for this is what we call either backslash or using triple quotes. So if I use triple quotes, then any inverted, single inverted, or double inverted will be considered as a normal character and won't affect our string. Then another solution is using single quotes here so that and using a backslash. So with this backslash, we are not getting error. So let's run this. Yeah, remove inverted before what? But suppose what if I have to put that double inverted in the string? Because I need it to be there, right? So this is why we have this alternative. Even you can use double inverted with double inverted. You just need to put this backslash character. This backslash character is present at the above the enter in your keyboard. So we get double inverted to in a strings without any error. So yeah, coming to this to what we have left earlier is the format method. So basically format is something like that you use in C and Java. In C you use %d and then after comma and after inverted completion and comma you provide which element or say which variables value is supposed to be there, right? This is what format does in Python. You have to just do enter that particular string dot format and then enter what you have to put in that particular positions. Here we don't use now because Python is extremely dynamic. You just have to put curly braces. Okay, so I have here three names to be put in this string. So I am using curly braces, comma curly braces and curly braces, right? So then it becomes, let's just, before running this, there's a point that if you don't assign, if you don't provide any integers inside this curly braces, then it takes the default order in which you are providing them it the output. So first let's run this. So yeah, here we gave John, Bill, and Sean. We are getting John, Bill, and Sean. Now, suppose if I want to provide it by some positional argument, suppose Bill must come first, then John, and then Sean. So here we get Bill, John, and Sean. So you just need to put 1, 0, and 2. Now this is again like you have to just put it as 0 index, 1 index, and 2 index at John, Bill, and Sean, and then correspondingly put the indices in the string in the format. So another is that using the order keyword. So you can directly, instead of putting the integers or say indices, you can assign j equals John, and then here I'm putting j. So the third one present in the string is John. Now some common string methods, because there are obviously some standard functions which we always need. So let's check out. So DevScript.lower. Here I have put some random some characters which are capital, some are small. D capital, V capital, C, I, T, all capital, and all else are small. Similarly, here I have the same. So what lower does is, as the name suggests again, it just converts the whole string into lowercase. Similarly, upper converts to uppercase. Split is what I explained you earlier. It just splits the string. Again, I also explained you, John, what it is. It just combines all the elements in the list in a single string. Then what if I'm putting an integer here? Or just first run this, then I will check out. Yeah, so the final line is executed. So let's just first this and run. Okay. Yeah, everything in lowercase. No, everything in uppercase. Split, get a list, and get it converted into a single string. What if I put here an integer? Get an error. Again, this is something like concatenation without any efforts. You just use the string function. You just use the join function. So guys, thanks a lot for giving us 2000 subscribers on YouTube. Now let's just learn from this that we have a find keyword that we can use to check whether a particular string is available is present in the given string or not. Let's run this. Yeah, so it is there. That's why it isn't provided giving us anything. And we saw replace already, right? So we are awesome. Detailed scripters are awesome. Okay. Now moving to the next section, which is Vinash the deletion. And basically, when you assign or say declare a string, you are allocating some memory, right? So what if you have to deallocate the memory? So you have the keyword del, which is used for other data structures to say whether it be dictionary or what. But there's one thing that you cannot do the way you cannot edit a string just by assigning some character by another one. Similarly, you cannot delete one. So suppose let's just run this. Let's see what it gives us. String object doesn't support item deletion. Okay. So fine. I'll just delete the whole string then. Wait just yeah. So I'm trying to delete the string again because even if I deleted it again. So basically now the string doesn't exist anymore. Right. I'll comment this line. We are deleted, then that's why we are getting that it doesn't exist anymore. And now because it is deleted, it is not defined. You can just define it again to something and bingo. Now this is how you delete a string. Me after 10 lines of coding, and I guess we saw a lot today. So I guess this must be enough for today. But yes, there's a surprise for you all. Something a fact, something more to know, some meme. What if I told you that Python is total fun? Okay, so can anyone guess what this single line can do? Single line import this can do. Import is a keyword that is normally used to import modules or say libraries in Python, the way you use hash include in C, etc. Okay, so the speciality of import this is that it gives us a poem on Python, a very nice poem which is named The Chain of Python by Tim Peters. Do give it, do run it and read the poem. Okay, let's keep it something like a surprise. Okay, then how many of you think that Python logo should be temporarily updated to this as we are having social distancing? Do think on this. So thank you all for attending this session. If you do like it, give it a try of all the code snippets that we have done. And do like this video. And so thank you all. Again, this was Vedant Khairna. You can just Google out my name and get connected with me on LinkedIn. and other platforms. Thank you.